Good evening, everyone. I hope that you're done with your paper and you have done fairly well in the examination. And I just got a chance to look at the paper, and I could see in geography and environment, the paper was moderate to difficult. If I talk particularly about environment, the questions were doable. There were a lot of species questions I could see from plant species and animal species. In fact, in my classes also recently, where I have taken the prelims environment marathon, there also I've discussed the same questions. I'm very glad that from there the questions have come, and the people who would who would have appeared for the test this time, they would be very happy, because recently only I have discussed the same questions in the class. And apart from that, if I talk particularly about geography, geography is also doable, but the point is there are certain questions which are a little ambiguous, and there were a lot of questions wherein the fact was also there. So people who are not banking their preparation on the facts, definitely they would have faced some sort of a problem in that. But otherwise, if I talk about geography and environment, it was moderate to difficult. And now let's see the analysis of the paper. The first one that I would discuss is, the first question is, which of the following statement about the rare earth elements and critical minerals are correct? So let's look at the first statement, which is modern technological innovation, including artificial intelligence, robotics, space exploration, extensively utilize rare earth minerals. Now this year, the whole year would have been, especially after November, was the year wherein we have been talking about the rare earth minerals a lot of time. Why? Because the whole geopolitical dynamics have changed because of the rare earth mineral, from taking Greenland because of the rare earth mineral. So all of these discussion that I have done in the class, and particularly in videos also, was also about rare earth minerals. So this is a quite general statement. We are having a semiconductor missions. Again, it's making the use of rare earth minerals. All the devices that we are using these days, artificial intelligence particularly, we are making the use of rare earth minerals. And India, so, and in collaboration with the USA and other countries, also trying to bring a lot of technological innovation where in their earth minerals. So first statement is definitely correct in that sense, because it's quite a generalized statement and we have been studying about it from quite a lot time. Next is, China has the highest share in mining of REEs. Now tell me, REEs, China. Yes, China do have the reserves of that. Definitely they have the reserves of that. And that's why we have been talking about why even the Trump is trying to take Greenland, because they know that they would be needing more of the rare earth mineral, because in the next era we would be needing. So basically your rare earth minerals will be replacing all the oils, etc., because you're using it in the semiconductors. The one country who's possessing it the most will be the having the more of the revenues, because the demand of it is going to increase exponentially, right? So now the point is, it's followed by India. Now, so this part of the statement is wrong. If we would have been the largest, I mean second largest also, I mean that would be one of the biggest thing for India. But the point is, the only place, I mean, we do have the some sort of rare earth minerals in India, but the point is, we are not the largest of all. We recently found in Jammu and Kashmir the reserves of lithium, all of these that become a biggest news. Why? Because again, the same thing, that we are not the biggest reserve of that. So this statement is totally wrong. So the first part of the statement is correct. For all the students who are looking at this analysis should make sure that the first part is correct, but the second part, followed by India, is wrong. It's followed by USA, Australia, other countries, not India. Okay. Next is, Government of India launched in the National Critical Mineral Mission in 2025 to establish robust framework for self-reliance in critical mineral sector. Yes, definitely. That is one thing, that we have been promoting the National Critical Mineral Mission for a very long time, and we have been banking, or we have been discussing about all of these, and that definitely the third statement is correct. Now the fourth one is that rare earth minerals are having a set of 13 metallic minerals. Now this is a factual part, wherein you need to know that it is not 13, it is 17. right? It's not 13, it is 17. In fact, set of 17 metallic minerals, which is 15 lanthanides and plus scandium plus yttrium. That is the whole set that we are having. Scandium plus yttrium and 15. So this is the whole scenario. So we are having 15 lanthanides and scandium plus yttrium. This is the whole data of the rare earth mineral. Now I hope that you have got the clearance that what should be the answer of this question. Okay. Now coming back to the next question. This is the analysis. This is the description of the same thing which I have been talking about. So you can have a look at it too. So here I have mentioned this also. So it's not 30. All right. Now moving quickly to the next question, which is Tungurahua volcano, which was declared as a global geopark by UNESCO in 2025, is situated in which one of the following countries? Now volcanoes, I've been telling that please look at the volcanoes, important volcanoes which are present. See the classification of also of the same. So thankfully the classification didn't come, but it is on the easier side that this question has come. So this was in news too. So in which area it is? It is in Ecuador. The answer of this is Ecuador. And where it is? Again, where is Ecuador? It is in South America. And apart from that, which kind of a volcano it is? It is a stratovolcano, right? So if you want to see the description of it, it is a stratovolcano. And again, it is an active form of a volcano, active form of volcano, right? So where it is? Ecuador. It is again in South America. Previous year also we have the questions from the same area. I mean, I'll tell you the reference of this. Previous year we had a question that Andes has been extended to which all countries of South America. Now this is volcano is again where it's near to the Andes only. Now see this thing that on the Andes also you could have seen which all volcanoes are present and in which particular country they are present. So from the previous year only we had the same question. I mean the theme was same. They still asked about the Andes mountains and the ranges. They asked that from where to where, with which countries they have been extended. And then today's in 2026 also, in today's paper also they have discussed the same thing, right? So this is the explanation of the same. So it's an active stratovolcano located in, again, that is what I have been mentioning. It's mentioned over here also, Andean highlands of Ecuador near the city of Banos de Agua Santa in province, and it stands at approximately 5,200 meters above sea level. So that is what. And the next description to paper mein hi hai, that geopark, etc. All right. Next question is with reference to Madhav National Park, which one of the following statements are correct? Now, national parks were discussed recently in the Prelims Marathon session already. So there also mentioned about the Madhav National Park, and particularly I have said one thing that day also, they try to locate all those national parks on the map, whether it's Pench, whether it's Madhav, whether it's Kana National. So I was discussing the Cheetah project basically. In that session only I have discussed the same thing, then mark that up. And in fact, you look at the map, that how they are located. So sometimes they do ask it's located in the north, south, etc. of the state. And on a similar pattern, the question has been asked. Look at the first statement now, which is saying that it was declared a tiger reserve in India. Yes, this was declared as a tiger reserve. Next, right? See, in fact, I want to focus on the third statement first. Its area is shared between Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. In that very class, I told everyone to look into the maps and locate it. And the location of the Madhav National Park is basically to the north. It's in the north. It is situated totally in the Madhya Pradesh. There is no border sharing. So the point is, this option is eliminated because of the fact that it's located in the north. It's totally in the Madhya Pradesh. So definitely this statement is wrong. Now Sakhya Sagar. Now this has been recently introduced as the Ramsar site, And I was also discussing the newest Ramsar site which has been included. So yes, Sakya Sagar, which is there in where it is located in the Madhav National Park only. So the answer of this is 1 and 2. Now look at the explanation. Madhav National Park, yes, declared the 58th Tiger Reserve. This was significant conservation milestone. Sakya Sagar is again situated in the Madhav National Park only. And for the third statement, I have already given the explanation. All right. Now this is a bit conceptual question. Somebody would have done monsoons, Indian monsoon very well, and I've been telling that this topic is something you cannot mug it up. This is something you have to have certain kind of conceptual clarity while you're doing this topic. So if somebody would have done that, understand the question, what it is saying. Climate can be defined as humid tropical. Yes, it is located in the tropical regions only. It is where? In tropical regions only. Climate is humid. Definitely it is humid. Now the second statement is little tricky for many students who have not done it conceptually. So now understand the point that whether the Andaman is getting the rainfall through the southwest or the northeast or both. So the point is, yes, they do get the rainfall from the southwest monsoon, which is nearly of this time. This time only they get the southwest monsoonal rainfall from May, June, etc. They start getting it, and further on we get the monsoon in the northern parts of the India. Now the second part of the question is that whether the northeast monsoon rainfall are also coming over in this area. Yes, definitely, because again, if you look into the map, how it will be. They are going from Bay of Bengal in this region and then directing towards Tamil Nadu. In November, December, you are having the highest rainfall, you are having the maximum rainfall in Chennai. In November, December, you're having the rainfall in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, right? So, yahan pe bhi, in this area also, you get rainfall. Majorly, it is fed by southwest monsoon, but yes, northeast monsoonal rainfalls also impact this. So, yes, second part of the question is also correct. Now, maximum precipitation is between December and May. This is wrong, because I've told you that maximum they are getting is from the southwest monsoonal rainfall, which is of this time period, May to September. Like we are standing in May, so it's May to September, they are having the maximum rainfall. So the third statement is incorrect, and the first and second is correct. Okay. Now, if somebody wants to look at the explanation, then they can definitely have a look at it. Okay. Now the next part of the question says, which one of the following geographical features and phenomena is associated with Peninsular Block of India? Peninsular Block of India, two coasts, western coast, eastern coast. One is submergence, one is emergence, right? So which one is submergence? This one is submergence. The first statement, look at it, which is saying the submergence parts of the western coast is due to tectonic activity. Yes, I've already always even told you in the class that the western part, western coast of the area is what? This is submerged area, and the eastern is emerged area. Now, submergence means, and this is due to what? This is due to tectonic activity. It's totally purely due to tectonic activity. So this is an area of submergence. This is the area of submergence. So, or you can write down subsidence basically. Right. So this statement is correct. Now, presence of residual mountain ranges, Velikonda, Mahendragiri. Velikonda is a residual, it's a relict mountain, and they basically eroded. Velikonda is lying in Andhra Pradesh, and Mahendragiri is lying in Odisha. So that is also correct. If you've seen the characteristics of the mountains present in the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats, they are majorly they are rounded. They are not having the very sharp summit. Whenever I do the difference between the Himalayan mountains and the Peninsular mountains, they are more of having either the rounded shape or they are block. So this is the characteristics of the mountains which are present in the peninsula area. So this is what you need to know. Again, lying in Andhra and this lying in Odisha. Next, deep V-shaped river valley formed by fast-flowing rivers. Yes, they do have a fast-flowing river, but V-shaped valley, no. They have a U-shaped valley. V-shaped valley gorges have been formed by the fast-flowing river of Ganga, Brahmaputra, Indus, all of these. These are the perennial rivers of northern India. They are forming the deep V-shaped valley. So this is the characteristics of basically Himalayan rivers, not of the peninsular block. So third is wrong and 1 and 2 are correct. All right. Now looking at the next question. Next question says, consider the following statement refers to Sagarmala program of the government of India. First statement is Sagarmala program seeks to achieve port-led economic growth through the cost-effective, sustainable coastal infrastructure. If somebody would have gone through all the objectives of the Sagarmala project, what it says? It says about the port formation, infrastructure should be enhanced, that should be sustainable. It comes under SDG 14 because you're talking about the economy, you're talking about the land, marine ecosystem. So all of these has been there. So the first question is quite generalized. Objective does, and it does align with all the objectives of the Sagarmala. Then there's yes, first statement is correct. The success of the Sagarmala project is reflected in significant growth in coastal. Yes, we are also including this. That is why it is called inclusive. Why the term inclusive has been included in the Sagarmala project? Because we're talking about the development of the coastal region also. It's going to give a lot of jobs to the people. Livelihood will be increased. It will become even more better with the many jobs to the coastal area, the coastal people living near the coastal area. And then what else? That is why we are calling it as inclusive, right? So the point is, it inland waterway shipping along with improved global port ranking. Definitely, this is the followed objective. This is not something that we can achieve it at the first place, but yes, in the longer term, we are aiming that we should have the better ports, we should have the better infrastructure, everything should be there. And with respect to the third statement, which is talking about the Sagarmala 2.0 aims to position India as a global maritime innovation hub aligned with Atma Bharat and Viksit Bharat 2047 vision. Now, I'll tell you in this question, two things are there. So the point is, this question has, again, the question related to the port has been asked, another question. And what are they telling us? They're telling us that we have to be self-reliant, right? So the self-reliance is basically when you are making something where you do not have to depend on other countries. For example, if I have to have a bigger cargo shipment, so I do not have to be reliant on Singapore or maybe Colombo or Dubai for that. So recently we have made that port, and then that question also has been asked in the UPSC examination, today's examination only. So what it reflects? It reflects that these projects which we are focusing on, port, that is also about port. Sagarmala is also about port. We are focusing on the infrastructure. We're focusing on being self-reliant. Self-reliant is what? This is the main idea of the Atma Bharat Nirbhar, right? And then what next? Viksit Bharat 2047 vision. So all of these statements are correct, but the point in this statement is, in the question is that they do have the assertions. So in the assertions, you have to get very clearly whether statement 1 or 2 is correct or 3 is correct, or whether third is contradicting 1 or not. So it makes the question even a little more difficult. Right? In that way, this question is, I would say that this question is a little difficult on that part. Otherwise, the statements are quite generalized. If you see the statement 1, statement 2 validates the effectiveness of the strategies envisioned in statement 1. Yes, that's correct. Statement 3 extends the objective of statement 1 by embedding them into future-oriented innovation framework. Yes. So for now, we are putting this aside. Let's see statement number 3. Statement 1 contradicts statement 3. Now read statement 1 and statement. Now read statement 1 and statement 3. Are they contradicting or are they supporting? What it is doing? Are they contradicting or are they supporting each other? So basically, Atmanirbhar Bharat and Viksit Bharat is going to get more proliferated, going to get more support through Sagarmala project. It's not contradicting. So third statement is wrong. If I eliminate it also, then if you come back to the question, the success, the first and second part of the question is right. Okay. In the assertion, you have to go back and see whether they are correct or not. And if you see all these things, so third is definitely ruling out, but first and the second statement are correct. Okay. Coming to the next part of the question, which is identify the river of the Indian subcontinent on the basis of following information. It has an antecedent drainage system. Secondly, it flows through the three countries. It originates in Tibetan Plateau and very important for irrigation. It does not form distributary. Now, if I would be approaching this question in the examination, the first thing I would pick this thing, the last point, which does not form distributary. Now, I have to figure it out. If you would have seen the map and done the Indian geography very well, you would have seen it definitely. Brahmaputra is forming a distributary when it's draining into the Bay of Bengal. Now, it merges with Ganga and then it drains. Then Indus, it forms distributaries. Teesta, it formed distributary. Okay, even if you are confused between these two, whether they do form distributary or not, just in that case. Now look at the other parts also. It flows through three countries. Okay. Now, and now next is it has an antecedent drainage. Now somebody is not read about the antecedent drainage system. It means that before the formation of the Himalayas also they were flowing into the same course only, and when the Himalayas were later formed, they just cut through that and they are still running on the same path. They have not changed their discourse, they have not changed their path, they're still running on the same thing. So you call them as antecedent river. Ganga is an antecedent river, right? So the Brahmaputra is an antecedent river. So this part, now it originates in the Tibetan Plateau and it's an important river for irrigation. Again, it flows through the three countries. Again, so the only thing I would have picked up first to make it more or less confusing is it does not form distributary. So for me, I have eliminated these two options because of this. And now I'm left with the two options. Now understand the point. Then if I talk about three countries, these both are forming, they are fitting into that. Now antecedent is something which is difficult for me to eliminate these two. So what I will do, I will run through third option again. It originates in Tibetan Plateau and an important river for irrigation. Now, the point is, the only thing which can save me in this question is antecedent river. If you see, Satluj is one of the prominent antecedent river, Teesta is not, right? So, it definitely thoda confusing hai ye question. I'm not saying it's not confusing, it's that easy. But yes, you had your trick, you could have your own trick. You could see that how you have to get to the answer. So, the right answer for this is Satluj. Okay, now with respect to this question is a little ambiguous. I'll put this question in ambiguous. Why I'm saying that? Just look at the option first. We'll not go through the option. I mean the statement first, and we'll not go through the options. Reason being, if you see the statement, they're asking about a non-correct one. Incorrect question we have to mark. The first one is Uttar Pradesh shares its boundary with the highest number of other Indian states. If you look at the data, this statement is basically correct. Okay, so we have to figure out non-correct statement. Second statement is Rajasthan shares the longest international border among all Indian states. From the very starting point, we have been reading that West Bengal, which has the largest international boundary. It's Bangladesh with West Bengal. They're forming the longest boundary. So this statement is not correct. So we have to mark not correct. So in that case, this statement will be one of our answer. Okay. Second, I'm writing. Then Sikkim is the only state that shares its boundary with just one other Indian state. Now, if you see into the data also, Sikkim is, yes, one of the only state which is sharing the boundary with another Indian state. There is no other Indian state which is sharing the boundary. So, in that case, this statement is correct and it will not be the part of question. 1 and 3rd will not be the part of question. Second is the answer for me. But the point here is, we do not have any option like that, so I will put it into ambiguous question. So we have also tried to read it in different way also, if there is some hidden meaning of any of the question statement basically. but we couldn't find that. But the point here is, I'll put it into ambiguous question, and for me, for now, the answer is second, because they are asking for the not correct, incorrect statement, right? Okay. Now, we were expecting this state of Hormuz. So many times we have discussed state of Hormuz already. And I'm in my classes also keep on telling you that you have to bring the map, you have to see state of Hormuz location, etc. Now, here are we dealing with the question of state of Hormuz in examination. So Syria, definitely I'll rule it out. It's the question is, ships from which of the following countries have to cross to the state of Hormuz? Now, in the class also I've told the same thing, that with Iran, they are having on the northern side, on the upper side of it, they are having the only longest boundary that they're having with Iran. And that's why Iran is having a geopolitical advantage over here. And that's why it is using it as a geopolitical weapon also. But with other part of it, you are having the different countries which are having a boundary with the state of Hormuz. Yes, definitely we are ruling out Egypt here, because Egypt is not here. So which all countries are here? Qatar and Bahrain. Syria is on the west side. It is basically on the Mediterranean Sea side. Egypt, yeah, it's adjacent to the Red Sea. So if you are seen the map very clearly, so answer is 1 and 3. Okay. Next question is, which of the following statement is reference to the Lake Turkana? Now, Lake Turkana, if you see, it is one of the arid, and it's one of the lake which is more saline, and salinity is very, very high. The salinity of this lake is quite high. And the point is, the first statement is the largest desert lake in the world. Where it is formed? It is formed near East African Rift Valley. If you would have seen East African Rift, Ridge, etc., so you would have seen over there, it is formed because of that. Next is, the lake is situated in South Sudan along the eastern fringe of Sahara. So the location of this has been marked wrong. This is not the area where it is located. It is located in Kenya, and some part of it is also extended to Ethiopia. If you look into the map, then you will see clearly how it has been formed. Next is, the lake is listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and is referred to as Jade Sea. Why the color jade? Because it looks as a blue-green. This looks as a blue-green, hence it has been named as the Jade Sea, right? So the second statement is wrong. So 1 and 3 is the answer. Okay, so we also call this river as Endoheric, which is a closed basin. And again, it is in the East African Rift System, mainly northern Kenya, and it extends to the Ethiopia also. It's a saltwater lake, alkaline Jade Sea, because of the striking blue-green color. And yes, it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which makes this answer correct. Now, talking about the next question, in what ways does Vizhinjam International Seaport represent a structural shift in the India's maritime trade and logistic policy? Now, with this question, recently I have discussed the Great Nicobar project in the class. There's a video also is live, it's gone live. And with the Great Nicobar project, I've been discussing the same thing, that we do not have the container transshipment terminals present in India, wherein, I mean, we have to take the help of the different foreign countries, for example, Singapore, Sri Lanka. So we have to park our cargoes over there because we are not having the proper infrastructure present, and we do incur the losses of $240 to $220 million every year because of this reason. And therefore, what we want the infrastructural changes. So with this respect, we have the first one, which is your port, and this port, which is your Vizhinjam International Seaport, has been situated. Now, the point with this is, the first statement says that by functioning exclusively as domestic cargo. Now, first thing is that it is not domestic cargo. It is even for the international ships as well. We are not, it's just not fulfilling the needs of the country itself. It is acting as one of the port wherein you will also take care of the international ships as well. So it's not a domestic cargo first. To reduce reliance on the coastal shipping and eliminate the need for foreign collaboration, that's true. We will, I would say we will reduce, not eliminate completely. But yes, the further idea should be that, but the point is we will try to reduce it. Next is by focusing primarily on the passenger cruise. Now, it's not primarily. Your first target is to create a infrastructure wherein we can, at least, we do not have to give a lot of freight charges, etc., to the different countries, which we are doing these days. So what we can do, we can bring the cargo ships here, and we can put it's a very deep one. And I mean, it's 20 meter to 25-meter area, wherein it can come. The depth of it is like that, and it can come, and you can park it over here. You can hover it over here. And the point is, the primary reason is not this. This is a secondary reason. This is a second view of the port, right? This is what we are saying, that tourism and heritage is the second objective of this, but not primarily we are focusing on it. Third is by leveraging its natural deep draft and strategic location to reduce dependence on foreign transshipment ports, enhance revenue. That's correct. Okay, so we'll look into the question one by one, I mean statement one by one. Just have a look at it. So the answer for this is only 3. Now look at the explanation also. Again, where it is located, it's in Kerala. It's designed primarily as international. Yes, that is what I have been telling. It's not domestic, it's international transshipment hub, not a domestic cargo hub. It is being developed by Adani Ports to handle the large container vessels and transshipment cargo. Again, that currently goes to Colombo, Singapore, Dubai. Second is incorrect. Again, why I told you already that the tourism is not the main purpose. It's the followed purpose that you can further see in the port infrastructure. And the last one is definitely it's correct. So the answer for this is 3 only. Okay. Now for the ecology environment, we have done with the questions now. We come to the environment part now. Consider the following statement about foxtail orchid. Now, the first statement of the orchid says that it says epiphytic. What do you mean by that? These are the plants wherein you are having them, they are basically hanging flowers or hanging plant species. So when you call them as a orchid and which is epiphytic, it means that they are the hanging flower. So the point here is, yes, they are epiphytic. Apart from that, they are asking endemic. I have told you with respect to any species, always go through 2-3 things, whether they are endemic, native, etc. So with this, yes, they are found in the northeast, but the point is they are not only endemic to these places. They are also found in other areas as well of the different countries also, like Myanmar, etc. So yes, you cannot say that it's endemic to Northeast India only. So this statement is wrong. By next statement is, it is a state flower of Arunachal and Assam. Yes, yeah, definitely it is. It is a state flower of Arunachal and Assam. Now, what do you call it locally as? Yes, it is known as Kopo fool, right? You call it as Kopo fool. So the first statement is that is a epiphytic. I have told you the meaning of epiphytic, and very interestingly, epiphytic in sense that yes, it is taking a support of a different plant species, but the point here is that they are not taking the nutrients, not taking the help of it. It's just taking the structural support of the different plants. When it's hanging, it's like that. And why the name foxtail? Because the plant looks like that. It is basically having a foxtail like structure, and the first it makes a shape like that. So that's why the name foxtail. Okay. So next is it's parasite. It's using them for support. Next is it's endemic, not endemic to Northeast. As I told you, it's found in Myanmar, also Malaysia, Indonesia. And then next is, yes, this is a state flower of both, and it is known locally as Kopou fool. All right. For the next question, we are having at the United Nations Ocean Conference held in June 2025 in France, FAO, which is Food and Agriculture Organization, demonstrated its leading voice on marine and ocean issues. Which of the following combinations about the 4 betters proposed by FAO for blue transformation is correct? Now, better. So basically, it's not a theme. You have to clear that it's not a theme. It was a framework for this. And yes, they do talked about better. And the only thing is a very factual question, because either you know or you don't know about this. So the framework that they prepared was better production, better nutrition, better environment, and better ocean. So that is the answer of the question. Okay. Next question is, which of the following is the first Plan Vivo certified reducing emissions from deforestation forest degradation project in India? Now, with this question, it's a very direct question. In fact, in the current affairs also it was there. So they talk about Vivo plan. What is it? It is talking about the community which are promoting a lot the area. Community which are supporting in the restoration of the ecosystem. So with that respect, recently the Khasi village on Meghalaya have got that tag. So they have been certified, Plan Vivo certified reducing emissions. So it was Khasi Hills Community Red Plus project, wherein they have got that certification. Okay. The Khasi Hills Community Red Plus project in Himalaya hold distinction of being the first Plan Vivo certified. It's a community-based, that is what I've been telling, community-based forest conservation project here. And next is, it's an international certification which has been given for the first time to them. The project supports a traditional law Kinmau community forestry governance system for the Khasi people. Okay. Consider the following statement with respect to India's response to climate change. India's long-term low-emission development strategy. Now again, I've been discussing COPs. मैंने सारे ही human FCCC के सारे COP discuss किए. COP 15 से लेके COP 30 तक, which is a recent one. I have discussed all of them in the Panathon series, and therein I have talked about the LTLEDs also is one of the objective of your COP 22. So let's discuss that. India's long-term low-emission development strategy is crucial for achieving net zero emission. Yes, it is. India's fourth biennial update report submitted in December 2024 recorded around 8% decrease in greenhouse emissions. Now, if you look at the report, this was little factual. You know the fact, you don't know the fact, and it's quite tricky also. Yes, there has been a quite reduction. Why there was a reduction? Because there was COVID situation happened and vehicle emissions, etc., got reduced drastically. So at that point in time, yes, we did see a lot of changes, and there was a reduction of 8% from 2020 to 90 to 22 basically, and then they produced the report. There was a drastic reduction in that. So the point is, second is also correct, and the climate resilient development necessarily depend on quick and short-term achievement. Now, on the one side, we are talking about the long-term goals, and on the other side, we are saying the climate resilient policies, they are quite quick, they are quite short. So that is something very contradictory. Let's see the assertions. So the first one is saying statement 1 is empirically supported by statement 2. Yes. Statement 3 contradicts the statement. The approach implicit in statement 1. Yes. Statement 1 and statement 3 together establish. How can they together establish the long term? One is talking about the short, quick responses. The other one is talking about the long term. And the climate resilience is something that you cannot do something about it in a very short span of time, which requires a lot of time investment, and you have to aim for the bigger goals, and you have to aim it for a longer period. That's why we always say 2030. When we take an agenda from here only 2026, we're talking about 2047 net zero carbon emission. 2070 net zero carbon emission. That is what we have talked in the Panchamitra also. The COP 2026 that happened in the 2021. So this is what we have been talking about, right? So yes, statement 1 is correct, statement 2 is also correct, but statement 3 is not correct. I mean, B is the option, 1 and 2 are correct. Next question is, again, species which I've discussed in the class, and I'm very glad that this question has come. The first statement is Hullock gibbons. Hullock gibbons are what? See, there are two types of Hullock gibbon. One is a Western Hullock gibbon and Eastern Hullock gibbon. Your Western Hullock gibbon. So particularly the question has also mentioned Western Hullock gibbon. Please note that. So Western Hullock gibbon is endangered. That's correct. But Eastern Hullock gibbon is vulnerable. So let's talk about the Western Hullock gibbon is endangered, and next is specialized branchiation. I've told in the class also, just look at this species, Hullock gibbon, how it looks like. So it's a very small monkey-like species, and they will, most of the time if you see, they have the images on the trees, etc. It itself shows that they have a branchiation. That means they keep on hanging, they keep on going from one tree to another. So it's very lightweight. So they go from one to another, and they possess a strong, not at all. They are very small monkey-like structures, so not at all. They do not have strong, heavy build like gorillas. So answer is 1 and 2. Okay, next question is, which of the following facts explain the rationale for protecting mangrove forest in the context? Again, an easy question, doable question. The first statement is, mangroves reduce the tidal energy and store fresh water, making them ideal sites for paddy cultivation in the saline estuarine belts. Yes, that's true, that they do reduce the tidal energy and store fresh water. But one thing which is problematic is makes them ideal site for the paddy cultivation. So basically, it's not an ideal site, because with the help of the fertilizer, etc., with more of an embankment. So what these people do, they make embankments so that the saline water should not come. And with a lot of external support, they are able to grow some sort of a paddy cultivation over here. But ideally, naturally, it is not suitable for the paddy cultivation. So the second part of the statement is wrong. And with respect to second statement, they are salt sensitive roots. It is not salt, not at all. They are in fact salt tolerant roots. They are having a salt tolerant roots. Okay. Key to converting coastal land into fresh water by withstanding tidal surges. Third is by withstanding tidal surges, offering biomass resources. Mangrove function as both natural bio shields and livelihood. So these two we keep on writing in the main answers also, that what are the utilities, and it's one of the objective of it. So third is correct. Only D is correct. Why statement 2 is incorrect? Because salt tolerant. Why this one is incorrect? Because it's not an ideal, naturally considered as ideal for the paddy. Yes, with the help of fertilizer, etc., you can do. Next is, which of the following statements are correct with the arrival of Amur falcons at Deong Lake? Now again, wetlands I have been discussing. Amur falcon I have discussed in the class. What it is, again, a migratory bird. Why it comes here? Because in the winters it has to come here from the Siberia, etc. It is, India is one of the destination for it also. So it is just like a stopover. It comes, basically want to go to Africa, but it stops here also. It takes a halt in India, wherein in the northeastern states. So the point here is, Nagaland, it is talking about Doang. The first is, it showcases how sustained local conservation effort can contribute to arrival and protection of international migratory birds. That's correct. That's why we have a lot of wetlands. If you have Keoladio National Park, your Loktak Lake, wherein you find lot of migratory birds. क्यों मिलते हैं? क्यों conserve करते हैं? Because we have to protect them also. We have to conserve the wetland, because it's one of the way that migratory birds are coming over here. And so yes, it does help. Next is, it reflects the global success of advanced tracking technologies that guide migratory birds. See, your global success of advanced technology, it can just assess, it can just keep a close eye and can monitor that how your organisms, how your basically migratory birds are going from one place to another. This is just for the regulation, is just for the monitoring, so that we can have some sort of data. But we do not indulge in any kind of, through these satellites, through this technology, we do not indulge in any kind of their route changes. So that is what it's not involved in. We said we are just involved in tracking them. This is just for the tracking purposes, for monitoring purposes. It's not at all, we have nothing to do with change of their course, their route, or anything with that. The satellites are, or any tracking machine are not involved. Okay, so the second statement is incorrect. Next, it confirms that Amar Falcon have adopted to permanent residency in India. Now, how you can say permanent residency in India due to favorable habitat? Yes, they do come here, they do stay here, stopover is there, but no permanent residency. That's incorrect completely. So the only answer is 1. Now the next question is, which one of the following statements are objective of rain-fed area development initiative under National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture is correct? पहला स्टेटमेंट देखते ही पता हो जाना चाहिए कि मोनोकल्चर हम कभी भी सपोर्ट नहीं करते हैं, किसी भी केस में सपोर्ट नहीं करते हैं मोनोकल्चर. क्यों नहीं करते हैं? We are always saying mixed cropping करिए, तभी तो ज्यादा से ज्यादा न्यूट्रिएंट्स इन्वॉल्व होंगे, एसिमिलेट होंगे, हेल्प करेंगे. इसी को इंटरक्रॉपिंग हम सपोर्ट करते हैं, मिक्स क्रॉपिंग हम सपोर्ट करते हैं. वी नेवर से मोनोक्रॉपिंग वी शुड सपोर्ट. सो फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट इटसेल्फ शुड से कि मोनोक्रॉपिंग तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं होना चाहिए. सेकंड इज इंक्रीजिंग लाइफ कल्टीवेशन इन इरिगेटेड रीजन. नाउ अंडरस्टैंड द मिशन कह रहे हैं रेन फेड मींस यू आर नेचुरली you are banking on the rain conditions for your irrigation. Now understand a crop like paddy, a crop like rice, wherein you require a lot of water. If you see how the cultivation of paddy is done, it requires a lot of water. So how can if in the case the drought comes, or if in case any situation can come, in that case, how you will fulfill the needs of the irrigation for paddy? It's not possible. So what we do, we try to promote the drought resilient crops here. And which are the drought resilient crops? Jowar, bajra, etc. All of these millets, your horticulture, these are supported in the rain fed, not this one. So this is incorrect. Next is enhancing productivity, minimizing climate change. Yes, that is correct. Right? Third is correct. So the only answer is 3 only, which is your D. Okay, I marked wrong, but I think the following, no, this is a different question. Yes, D I have marked, correct. Now, next question is, which of the following are the most significant implication of obtaining OCO-Tech certification for Eri Silk in the global textile industry? First is allow Indian exporter to compete in the high-end global market that prioritize chemical-free products. And next, it confirms that Eri Silk meets international safety and environmental quality standards, enabling its entry into premium eco-conscious materials and markets. The point here is, what is this certification is for? Let me just explain. This is your Ecotech certification. Basically, it's for, this signifies that your product is basically chemical-free. It is not having any sort of formaldehydes. It's not having any sort of noxious chemicals present in it. So basically, it is chemical-free. And if you use it, your skin is not going to get irritated. It's skin-friendly. It's not going to have any problem. So the point is this certification only signifies that it is chemical-free and it's easy to use. It's okay. It's not dangerous to use this product. So the point here is, this particular certification signifies that. But the second statement is also adding on some other adjectives like equality standards, enabling its entry into premium eco-conscious market. One more thing, environmental. Now for me, that is little problematic. Now I'll again put it into ambiguous question, because environmentals etc. is something which, for that you already have different kind of text certificates. For example, we do have GOTS, and then there are other sort of certificates which are available only for these things. And how can this OCO text certification can tell that quality standards of it? So I still put it in ambiguous. If the UPSC is not considering this, then definitely both are correct. But for me, if they're getting too much into the detail, then statement 1 should only correct it. I mean, it should be correct. Okay, so in that case, I'm putting it into ambiguous question. And I've told you why I'm putting it in ambiguous question, because I do have my own understanding of this question. So for me, if somebody has to go through that, because see, the chemical is something which for that only we have this particular certification, right? So if they are also involving, because later on environmental free ho hi jayega, environmental friendly ho hi jayega agar the chemical nahi hai to, but quality standards again, this is something tricky for me. Okay. Next question is, which one of the following statement in relation to Niranta? Now this one again was tricky question. National Institute for Research and Application of Natural Resources to Transform, Adapt and Build Resilience, a platform of institution under Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change is correct. Pehla question, pehla answer part hai, ecosystem surveys and analysis is a vertical under this platform, the lead institute of which is Botanical Survey of India. Now, the part of this question is pura factual question, the pura factual. It's just that if you know the answer, you know it. If you don't know the answer, you do not know it. Acha. The objective kya hai Nirantar ka? Nirantar is basically want to see the climate objectives, for example, whatever implementation you're doing with respect to the climate, etc., with the evidence base. So what happens, you have a different organization present, or different organization apna alag-alag kaam karte rehte hain. But what they want is, they want to club all the data together so that everybody can be in sync, rather than they're working in silos. They do not want that. They wanted the system should be integrated. So that is the whole objective of Nirantar. So let me just let me just put you through the objective of it. The objective says to improve collaboration between research and environmental institutions, support evidence-based environmental policy making, strengthen climate resilience, and reduce silo-based functioning. That is what I have been focusing on. इनके coordination institution है FSI, ZSI, and WII. There are others also. Now, this under Nirantar platform, ecosystem services analysis is one of the vertical. That's true. But the key features, again, they addresses ecosystem. But the point is, this research and management platform is under the Indian Council of Forestry Research and Education, and it's headquartered in Dehradun. So that is the point. So this particular part is not correct. Okay, so with that point, this particular part, this statement gets incorrect with that respect, right? Okay, so the next part of the question is, okay, this is first say. Okay, yes, research and management of ecosystem. This is the statement. It's not led by ZCA, which is your Central Zoo Authority, but it's primarily not a research institute for the ecosystem services. It's a vertical likely to be by a research institute like WII, or this is what I have been telling, that this organization is include like IC, like WII, ZSI, your zoological bodies are associated. Then the other bodies which are associated are WII. All of these are associated with it, right? With that respect, your answer should be 1 and 3, but not the second one. I'll just quickly read the statements again. Okay. Now, talking about the third statement, capacity development support is a vertical under this platform, the lead institute of which is Indian Institute of Forest Management, Bhopal. Now, this is completely correct, because the capacity development, etc., they are headquartered in that Bhopal only. So with that respect, it's correct. Okay. Okay. So in total, I could see that a lot of questions have come from the recent marathon which I've taken in of environment, and I could see that a lot of questions were from there. Apart from that, rest of the questions which are there, which are a little tricky, and definitely you cannot predict all the paper, but yes, you can predict some part of it which is important, which is there in the current affairs, and I think we will have been able to do some sort of a justice in our marathon. And apart from that, you can match your answer, you can see the analysis, and thank you so much.